What's going on, everyone? In this video, we're going to be doing the weekly recap of the stocked up trading floor. The market definitely had a little bit of a choppy and slightly bearish week, and this week is set to be a crazy volatile one given the strikes that happened in Iran over this weekend. So should be very interesting, but let's get right into this past week's recap. Starting off with the breakouts on Monday, there was some pretty good action with AMD, SRPT, and ASTS especially. These stocks led the way, especially AMD to the upside, as those call options moved up by 495%, which is awesome to see. There were also a handful of plays that moved up a little bit or just were duds and failed to move. This is expected to a certain degree as most of the opportunity is concentrated in the fewest tickers, similar to a power law distribution. So it was nice to see AMD and SRPT really lead the way. So that was nice to kick off the week. As the week went on, we could see that there were a handful of other decent plays that developed. On Tuesday, Reddit, Adobe, and ARM are the stocks that really stood out, while of course there were also a handful of plays that moved up a little bit, or just a handful of plays that were duds in general. Continuing on, as we could see, on the 18th, there was some really good action with breakouts. So this was Wednesday. Coinbase and Circle just hit it out of the park, crushed it. The Coinbase call options moved up by 1,058%, while the Circle call options moved up by 458%. But there was even a lot of other good action with OSCR, JP Morgan, Upstart, Wells Fargo, Visa, Reddit, Oracle. Lots of good moves in action on Wednesday, which was awesome to see. So that was definitely the day of the week, and those Coinbase call options really crushed it. There was no trading on Thursday for Juneteenth, and then looking at the action from Friday, nothing too crazy, but I would say respectable nonetheless. KR calls moved up by 174%, and there were a handful of other plays that had, again, respectable moves, nothing jaw-droppingly crazy though, like Coinbase. So that was nice to see. Looking at pullbacks, I would say it was a little bit slower compared to the breakouts. On Monday, there was some decent action with Meta and ASTS, and there were okay moves with the other ones. With pullbacks, you won't always see as crazy volatile moves because for example with the Coinbase breakout, setups like that sometimes don't pull back at all, and sometimes the strongest best setups just keep on going. So that's why the pullbacks tend to be a little bit less intense, but the trade-off is that they're smoother to trade. But anyways, continuing on, looking at Tuesday, decent action, especially with Adobe, as those put options moved up by 143%. The rest of the plays were, I would say, duds. Looking at Wednesday, again, decent action out of here. Circle really did well as those call options moved up by 230%. And then Visa and Coin had some decent moves as well. Again, no trading on Thursday. And then on Friday, decent action, nothing too crazy, but I do like how there were 4 plays out of the 7 that had moves greater than at least, let's say, 34%, with moves as high as 55%. So definitely not bad. Good opportunities all around. And then looking at the theta trades for the week, all of them expired for max profit, so no complaints there. Theta trades or short put options are a great strategy to learn if you haven't explored that area of the market yet. If you need help, feel free to reach out to Tom, Hunter, Mason, or myself regarding short put options, cash secured puts, writing put options. They're great, and it's definitely a great way to build long-term good positions as well. Besides that, thank you all so much for watching, and have a great rest of your weekend.